Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai Game News. We are kicking things off today with some absolutely massive numbers out of Capcom. According to PC Gamer, Resident Evil Requiem has officially crossed the 7 million copies sold mark. And here's the jaw-dropping part. It did that in just 2 months. To put that into perspective, the critically acclaimed Resident Evil 4 remake took a full year to hit that same milestone. Requiem didn't just beat it, it absolutely blew past it. Capcom reportedly celebrated the occasion with a couple of custom cakes, which honestly feels like the right move when your game is selling at that pace. Whether you're a longtime RE fan or you jumped in fresh with Requiem, there's no denying this franchise is in peak form right now. Capcom is clearly doing something very right, and it'll be exciting to see where those numbers climb from here. Alright, next up, big news from the Final Fantasy XIV Fan Festival, and there is a lot to unpack. Let's start with the headline everyone's been buzzing about. As reported by GameSpot, Square Enix CEO Takashi Kiryu officially confirmed that Final Fantasy XIV is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. Yes, one of the biggest MMOs on the planet is going portable. The idea of running raids and grinding dungeons from your couch or on the go is genuinely exciting. But, and this is a pretty notable, but there's an annoying caveat attached to this announcement. GameSpot reports that despite the Switch 2 port being confirmed, the specifics around how the game will function, particularly regarding cross-platform play or account compatibility, raised some eyebrows immediately after the announcement. The details left fans with more questions than answers, so definitely keep your eyes peeled as Square Enix clarifies things further. And while we're in the FF14 universe, also at Fan Festival, director Naoki Yoshida dropped another bombshell. According to GameSpot, the next full expansion for Final Fantasy XIV has been revealed, and it's called Evercold. It continues the new story arc that kicked off with the Dawntrail expansion, and that ongoing narrative has now officially been named the Godless Realms Saga. The teaser trailer teases a wintry, apocalyptic world where the Warrior of Light must reunite with old friends to face a creeping frozen catastrophe. Sounds epic. And on the PS4 front, Yoshida made it clear that Final Fantasy XIV's days on Sony's last-gen console are numbered. According to GameSpot, he urged PS4 players to start saving for a PS5, joking that they have about 2 years left before the plug gets pulled. With the PS5 Pro now sitting at $900, that's not entirely a joke. Okay, staying in Final Fantasy XIV territory for just a moment longer, because this one is genuinely wild. Also revealed at Fan Festival, and covered by both GameSpot and PC Gamer, Final Fantasy XIV is crossing over with the iconic anime Neon Genesis Evangelion. We're not talking a few cosmetic skins here. This is a full 24-person raid series called Ghosts of Desire. Director Naoki Yoshida, who described himself as a massive Evangelion fan, confirmed that Evangelion Studio Kara Incorporated will be heavily involved in developing the raid. A brief teaser trailer was shown, though full details are still being kept under wraps for now. Look, nobody really knows exactly how a classic mecha anime crossover fits into the world of Eorzea, but honestly, that's half the fun. The internet has already lost its mind over this announcement, and we are absolutely here for it. Moving on, some sobering news from the Xbox camp. GameSpot is reporting that newly appointed Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has publicly acknowledged that the global memory shortage is having a real impact on the development of Microsoft's next-generation Xbox console. In an interview with GameFile, Sharma discussed the ripple effects of rising memory costs, saying it's all part of a complex equation when it comes to pricing and timing the next console's release. She stopped short of giving a specific launch window, but the admission alone is significant. It tells us that next-gen Xbox planning is more complicated than Microsoft may have hoped. And while we're talking Asha Sharma, GameSpot and Eurogamer both covered another key statement from the new Xbox boss this week. When asked directly whether exclusive games could be making a comeback for Xbox, Sharma refused to rule it out. She told GameFile that she wants to make the right decision, not the fastest one, and that whatever direction Xbox takes with exclusives will have decade-long consequences for the business. It's careful, measured language, but the fact that she's not shutting the door on exclusives is noteworthy for Xbox fans who felt burned by the multi-platform shift. Here's a story that's going to get the movie buffs excited. GameSpot and PC Gamer are both reporting that a Battlefield movie is officially in development, and the names attached are seriously impressive. Christopher McQuarrie, the creative force behind the recent Mission Impossible films, is set to write, direct, and produce the project. On top of that, Oscar-winning actor Michael B. Jordan, fresh off his incredible performance in Sinners, is reportedly attached as a producer, with the possibility he may star in the film as well. This announcement comes hot on the heels of Paramount's confirmed Call of Duty movie, which means we could be looking at a full-blown battle of the military shooter franchises playing out on the big screen. Given McQuarrie's track record with pulse-pounding action and large-scale set pieces, a Battlefield adaptation feels like it could genuinely work. We'll be watching this one closely. Switching gears to some exciting pre-order news. GameSpot reports that Splatoon Raiders is now open for pre-orders, with the game confirmed for a July 23rd release exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. This one is a notable departure from the classic Splatoon formula. It's a single-player focused experience rather than the multiplayer Inkfest fans are used to. The physical edition is priced at $60, with a digital version coming in at $50. And for the Amiibo collectors out there, 3 brand new Splatoon Raider Amiibo figures are also available to pre-order right now. It's been nearly 4 years since Splatoon 3 launched, so this is a welcome return for the Squid and Octopus crew. And speaking of exciting pre-orders, also from GameSpot, Ratatan, the rhythm roguelike from the creator of the beloved Patapon series, has officially opened pre-orders ahead of its July 16th launch. It's coming to PS5, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. The standard edition lands at $40 physically, and a digital deluxe edition with extra exclusive content is also available. If you were a Patapon fan back in the PSP days, this one should absolutely be on your radar. Now here's a story with some legendary gaming industry energy. PC Gamer is reporting on a wild revelation from American McGee, the developer behind Alice, Madness Returns. McGee has claimed that his development team made actual gaming history, calling them the first team to ever tell Electronic Arts to get lost and, quote, kind of get away with it. McGee didn't go into graphic detail, but the implication is clear. His team pushed back hard against EA's notoriously tight grip on its developers and lived to ship the game. For anyone who's followed the long, complicated history of EA's relationships with creative studios, you know that doesn't happen often. Whether this bit of defiance is ultimately why we never got an Alice 3 is a question fans have been asking for years. McGee didn't confirm it either way, but it sure is fun to think about. The gaming community has absolutely run with this story, and honestly, the Alice series deserves way more love than it gets. And finally, some delightful news for the Baldur's Gate 3 faithful. GameSpot reports that publisher Penguin Random House is launching a full Baldur's Gate 3 book program, with multiple novels planned for release this year and beyond. The crown jewel of the announcement is Baldur's Gate 3, Astarion, a prequel novel diving deep into the dark and tragic backstory of everyone's favorite vampire companion. It's set to release on September 29th, and the author attached is T. Kingfisher, who PC Gamer describes as one of the best possible choices for this kind of dark fantasy storytelling. Kingfisher has a stellar reputation for blending horror and heart into her fiction, so an Astarion origin story in her hands sounds genuinely promising. The BG3 fandom has been hungry for more content, and this feels like Larian and their publishing partners really listening to that demand. That is going to be a popular book. Alright everyone, that wraps up today's episode of Genai Game News. If you enjoyed this rundown, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment with your hottest take on today's stories, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'll catch you in the next one.